Everybody, welcome back to Morning Monster. Got my monster there. It's a green top, and a little bit see through with the green screen behind me. I am on location here in Jacksonville, so a little bit not so normal for our live stream, but I'll do the best I can. So, welcome everybody back to the show. And, this is a show where we feast on the market madness. And I've got a question for you. Have you been to Chipotle lately? I know some of you have, but some of you have not. That place where you go to feel healthy while you're eating your burrito that might be the size of a small child. I mean, you know, I went there the other day. My burrito bowl cost me more than, I think it was more than my first car. Okay? Well, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. And apparently, I'm not the only one feeling the pinch here. But here's the kicker. While you and I were debating whether to add guac for a few extra, what, $3? Jeez. How many avocados are in that guac? Anyway, Chipotle's CEO, Scott Boatwright, he's out here basically saying, let him eat cake or, extra high priced burrito bowls. So last week, on a totally public earnings call that the internet decided was some sort of secret leaked recording, Mr. Boatwright dropped a truth bomb on everybody. He said, and I quote, 60% of our core users make over $100,000 a year in income. And then he added that this gives them confidence to lean into that group in a more meaningful way. What does it mean? What does that mean in CEO speak? Now, for those that don't speak corporate jargon, let me kind of translate this. Lean into that group in a more meaningful way means we're going to charge them more money because, if you're making six figures, $100,000 a year, obviously you can afford a $20 burrito bowl. It's just math. Just math, right? We need to make some of their money, some of our money. I mean, this, my friends, is the perfect example of the K-shaped economy. Imagine the letter K, the top line going up, the bottom line coming down, and that's our economy right now. The rich, they got money. Everybody else, well, they're not eating at Chipotle anymore. They're eating at home. And the article that I did research on suggested that's the way it is. And these companies don't care. And I mean, the data backs this up. A staggering 59% of consumer spending now comes from the top 20% of income earners. Top 20%. So while some of us are clipping coupons and looking for the best deal on ramen noodles and mac and cheese, apparently the wealthy are out there dropping cash on luxury goods, travel, apparently a whole bunch of burrito bowls at Chipotle. But this is where this story takes a turn, as it always does. And for us, the savvy traders and investors, while Chipotle is chasing high-income crowd, a full-blown value war is erupting in fast food. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Taco Bell, they're all right now rolling out deals and value menus, fighting for the attention of the budget-conscious consumer. Wendy's has their biggie deals starting at just $4. God, $4. You used to be able to go to Taco Bell and be freaking full for $4. McDonald's slashing prices on combo meals. I mean, it's kind of a race to the bottom. And it's a fascinating contrast to Chipotle's let's lean into them more and let's let them pay more type of strategy. So how do we actually turn this into investment opportunity, right? Like, what does this all mean? Well, you got a few different ways you could play it. First off, you can bet on Chipotle. I mean, I have stock of that. Their stock had a rough year, you could say. But if you believe in the K-shaped economy and you think that the wealthy are going to keep spending and buying burritos, then Chipotle is a good long-term buy. They're betting on a they're betting that their premium brand is gonna stand the test of time here and weather this storm. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. Now, number two, second, you could look at the other side of the cave, the value players, companies like McDonald's, MCD, Yum Brands, YUM, Yum. They actually own Taco Bell and KFC, trying to sell off Pizza Hut, and they're positioning themselves as the affordable option out here. In a time of economic uncertainty in our country, that's kind of a powerful position to potentially be in. Now, third, you could look at companies that are trying to do both. There's companies like Brinker International, who actually helped design a restaurant for once upon a time. Eat is their ticker, and they run like Chili's restaurant. They're kind of finding a success with a mix of value and quality. Not as cheap as McDonald's, not as expensive as Chipotle. Kind of trying to walk a fine line here. And that seems to be a sweet spot for a lot of consumers out there. And finally, don't forget about the new kid on the block, Kava. They're a direct competitor to Chipotle. They're expanding fast. They're another premium player. And they're also focused on digital innovation, which could possibly give them an edge in this kind of market. So there you have it. A tale of two burritos, one for the rich, one for the rest of us. I mean, it's kind of a story more than just lunch, right? It's a story about the way the economy is working, our society today, where the smart money's going, the haves, the have-nots. As for me, I might be off to find a taco truck for lunch because for $5 you can get 3 tacos that are better than anything you get in any chain, and that, my friends, is what I call the value investment for lunch. Anyway, let's talk about some charts and some opportunities out there today and see how we might make some money. How we might make some money. Can't really give me a hard time about how to say walk. I don't know if you say it guac, if it's GUAC on the thing and you say it guac, and then it's kind of weird if you say wok. You're talking about Chinese cooking utensil. Anyway, yeah, that's funny. So all trading involves substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I'm just a guy on the internet. I have a show. I make predictions. Sometimes things work out. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. If you want somebody to tell you what to do, you can hire somebody, but just try out taking a vested interest in your own financial well-being. It's should work out for you. So we're gonna jump through some kind of market update stuff. Yesterday, kind of a meh kind of day. We kind of just ground higher most of the day, and I'll go through a few things here. I'll talk about some potential entries for the day, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with my predictions of where I expect SPY and QQQ, my expectations for the day, and that'll kind of be the show for the day. That's the plan. So if you want those expectations and those trades, stick around to the end. If you got something else to do, you can check out, come back. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Let us know you're new in the chat, and we love welcoming new people. So I am on location doing an in-person event today. I'll be heading back home tomorrow, but so I'll do the best I can. I do plan to do 30 Minutes of Awesome today, 5 p.m. It's the only request show I do. I'm going to try to make it work, but hey, wrong. I'll try to make it work, but I don't have my normal setup. I have a laptop. I have, so I'll try my best to make it all work for us tonight, but it may not be the awesomest 30 Minutes of Awesome we've ever done. It's the first one I've tried to do not at home. And I've been doing the show for almost 5 years or 4 years, and yeah, just over 4 years. And this will be the first one I've ever tried to do on the road. So do my best. All right. So jumping into ES here. Like I said, it was just kind of a grind higher yesterday. Not really anything super spectacular. We just kind of popped up and sat here all day. And NASDAQ kind of the same sort of price action here. Except ES looks a little more aggressive on the upside while NQ looks a little more lackluster. So we're still seeing money rotate kind of out of big tech. Big tech hasn't come back yet so far. I don't know. Is this is the whole software as a service thing weighing on it? Is it? I'm not sure. Like big tech is hadn't made new highs for a while. And looking at the Nasdaq index here, market should open here in just a minute. We haven't made a new high since back here in October. While the S&P has gone on to make new highs, the Nasdaq has not been making new highs. It's just kind of a sideways grind for November, December, January. Now we're in February. I mean, that's tough when it just chops. And this is a pretty big range too. So it's, if you felt like the market's just treading in place, trot in place, as Donkey says in Shrek. It just it's not going anywhere. S&P did make a new high here, but it's kind of more of the same, like chopping around. This rise that we're in right now, potential to stretch up, but that's starting to set up these lower highs, kind of like we had on NASDAQ. It does concern me a little bit. So jumping back into the futures, NASDAQ's still in a zone where we can take another spill. S&P has pushed up to a point where we should go higher. But S&P's made new highs while NASDAQ just keeps getting flushed out. So they're kind of still holding that pattern. Russell, King Russell, as something I was reading last night was saying, King Russell, trying to push through that uptrend of lows. If we can actually push on through, should set us up for a pop to like 3140. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, maybe. So that sets us up to rally that next fib line. That's up there around 3140, 3100, 3140. That's just what it looks like. In IWM, if you were trying to trade the ETF here, possible up to 305. And that's what it looks like right there for Russell. Now, oil, it's really interesting here. We're just chopping lower highs. This is very similar to like the S&P, the way it's making lower highs here. We have the resistance at that high we made back there like almost 2 weeks ago, back in January. And we've just been stuck in this consolidation. We have the support at the roadmap line. Links in the description if you don't have it, or you can go to the channel homepage and watch the video that's pinned to the page and get the code and everything. There's the market open. And the potential to flush on down below this support is there. If we break down below this support at the 618, we're probably setting up for that flush down in the 50s, maybe even the high 40s. At which point, if we can bottom out there, that'll probably set off a rally in oil and come back up into the 100 area. So I keep going through that. Nothing's really changed there. We're just stuck treading water. Gold. Just sitting here in the resistance. I'm not sure if we break up through the resistance, and the resistance right now goes all the way up to around 5350. If we break through that, we've got upside potential, maybe at the 5800. If we struggle in this zone and start dipping again, break back below, and you can actually put a level here. If we get below this right there, that low from just Friday, so we get below Friday's low, it's probably indicative that gold is going to take a bath right on down to the roadmap line. We kind of need that sort of second leg flush out in the gold market. Clean it up, get it all back to where we can go higher again. But as we've seen on several of these corrections in the past here, we've just chopped and then broken out higher. So it's possible that flush out was it, and we chop around in here a little bit and then rip to a new high. That's possible. So we're probably not going to do it without resting for a couple months though. So that's just the way this all looks. Now Bitcoin, this is not looking very positive for immediate bullish action. Just kind of sitting here consolidating. Roadmap line way up here at 92,000. We're probably in the suck for several more months. We can rally up, but we'll probably see a lower low than this low. This was probably not it. If you were hoping or thought that this was it, it's probably not it. We're probably going lower before we can clean this all up. Ethereum just looks equally bad. Oh, goodness. Crypto. And dollar, as the dollar drops, this is probably has more influence on gold right now. But think about it. Gold was ripping over here just back like 27th of January. We're back into that candle, but gold's not like ripping higher again. We climbed on fumes for gold and silver a couple days, and then as this climbed out, gold and silver took a bath. So correlate when they're correlated, not when they're not. And let's check out silver really quickly. Yeah, you can see it's man, that thing almost got down to the roadmap line. Look at that. I think it needs one more little go. It could be done, but I think it's got a little bit more to go. Possibly back down to 50 before it's wrapped up. And as long as the dollar's dropping out, though, that kind of gives support to commodities, gold, silver, oil. So if we see the dollar bottom out in here, if we see the dollar make a lower low and then reverse strongly, that's probably the point where we're going to see more consolidation in commodities such as gold, silver, oil. But it doesn't seem to have that drastic effect on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. They seem to be stuck in their crypto cycle. So NKD still sitting up here. Yesterday, what a doji. That's it was we spiked up, filled in the range there. We opened with a gap up. It was running red yesterday. Looked like that may be a topping candle, but it ended up being a what do they call it? A shooting star or something like that. And now we're higher. If we break out, probably going on up into the 60,000, and this can put up pressure on the S&P. Should put up pressure on NASDAQ, but it doesn't seem to be the way it's going right now. So different dynamic playing out in the market. Seeing some rotation away from AI and big tech a little bit in the market. Flight to safety, and then supporting the S&P a little bit. So Apple, it set up the price pattern for going on a higher 295 the target. Amazon still holding on to the supports. This does set up the bigger potential bounce up to around 300, maybe 400. Google, but I should circle back. But the thing about Amazon is this is not high probability, like 75% likely pattern. This is it's probably closer to 50-50, and it has to get going. So we need it to break out above this 250, these highs from just a couple weeks ago. We need to break up higher than that to kind of confirm that we're actually going to make the big move on Amazon. So if it doesn't go, it can break down further. So it does have the price pattern, but it's got to go. It's not really triggered until we see it break out. So the potential's there. It's kind of that line in the Matrix, It's like, I don't know, kid. You got a lot of potential. There's just something not happening. And Google needs to drop on. Would look best if it dropped on down, but holding this area right here sets us up for the rally on up to that 385 area. So look at this. To just, we dipped down in there, we held it. So upside potential 385. Meta. Dun, 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 dun. That was the perfect place to hold. We break back higher. It's already on the path. As long as we just keep holding support when we retrace 1100 to 1300. It's going to take a little while to get there, potentially 27, maybe out to 28. But 1100 is kind of the conservative target. 1300 is the more optimistic, hopeful target. Microsoft is down 30 cents. And that could be the bottom. That hit the ideal, just like Meta. We got to support. If we can reverse, get back above the roadmap line, Microsoft can have a big upside target. We're talking like 800, 900, 700, 800, 900. So very similar to what some of the other charts have. Nvidia still stuck. Like it's like, JT, give me the thoughts on Nvidia. Nvidia is stuck. It's been stuck for basically since Thanksgiving. It's been very uninteresting to talk to. Resistance is at 195. The support is the roadmap line. And as long as we're in between, the sideways will continue until morale improves. That's just what we got. Just what we got. Sideways. That's the expectation. Tesla actually showing signs of life here. If we can break higher, then right up here at 454. Game on. Game on like Donkey Kong. I want to see this get going. This was the dip. Can we get the rip? Three up days in a row. We just need to get her at her. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. Let's bust out and go. I'm full of idioms today. Netflix. This little consolidation under the support, and then this rally that is not breaking higher than this downtrend of highs is a warning that we may flush on down to the 60 to 70 area right down here. Be careful. Chasing Netflix right now. So I could pull some, go baby go on TSLL. That's right. So I go pull gainers. Things moving up $2 more than pre-markets. Put them on the list. Kind of check out for, oh man, look at that beautiful. I went a little deeper than I hoped and or expected, but looks pretty spicy. Looks spicier than the Chipotle. I like this potential. That's a nice, this was, it maybe sufficiently bummed everybody out. Like this, it was a good place to start bouncing from. Got to get back above the roadmap line to really indicate we're going higher here. And up here around 860 to 900 would be the upside potential. UNF. First, what the? I'm not even sure I know what the heck this company is. Like, look at that sideways chart. Nasty price action. I don't like it. Maybe busting out higher today as far as local, but when you zoom back out, look at 5 years, this thing has done absolutely nothing. Looks like garbage. Race, nice little pop, but oh man, look at that. I can't make this stuff up. Look at that. Beautiful head and shoulders, consolidated right there, popping back up. Still in a downtrend. Still set for this longer term support down here around 300. Craziness. MDB. And lower high. Can MDB, I mean, is this going to be hit with the software stuff? Is that going to continue? It didn't pull back very much compared to a lot of other software. But, there's the upside breakout, but we're in this lower high downtrend thing. If we break down, lower low, probably down here around 100. but that upside up there around 900. So it's kind of flipping a coin. We came up into that resistance and started arcing back down, despite the little bounce today off the roadmap line. I don't know. If we get below the roadmap line, if we get below that 320 area, probably going down, 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 down. I would be careful chasing that one. That's not. It's not like a breakout especial. CRDO. Yeah, looking for the bounce. D-Dog. Failed breakout. We break down here. Probably coming back down to the lows. I thought this would look best with a retrace back down to 52. App loving got absolutely crushed on the software sell-off. But coming back up. Yeah, it's kind of like, was it just the mainstream media narrative, software apocalypse, or is there something actually afoot? Is it really an existential threat to the software as a service business? There's a paradigm shift happening. Like, I'm not, no two sweats about it. Like, there is a paradigm shift happening, but is it going to be overnight? Probably not. Is it going to be like, are we going to go through every other cycle like we have, like where we deployed a ton of fiber and then it took us years to actually start using all the fiber, and we launched a ton of websites, but then the money flushed out, and then we actually figured out how to use websites. I mean, it's like, are we going to do that again, or is this AI stuff actually just going to make a constant trudge forward? I don't know. I don't have the answer yet. We're gonna work this thing as we go. So, but there is, this could be this AI stuff could be existential threat to software as a service, and that'll keep being a story and a narrative and a conversation. So that crazy, look at that. I love this. Broke out, made the target that I had. Sorry, my drawing tool is not the normal drawing tool. Back to test the downtrend highs. As long as we hold here, this is a very, 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 very bullish potential. That break higher. This can take snow up quite a bit. Let's clean up some of these fib lines and kind of draw in the potential here. Move up, retrace. And we'll be talking 700. And the climb rate, this one kind of, let's see, a little bit flatter. Maybe something like that, maybe. So we'd be looking, I mean, this could be like 27, 28, maybe 29 to get there. ETQ. Yeah. 2x leverage on what? Ether. Huh. Let's see. TSM. And resistance at 380. Let's see. Anything else at Marriott's? Wow. Holy. I guess with the Chipotle narrative going higher, let's check out Chipotle at the roadmap resistance. If we get through, it's a nice potential to recover all the way up into the 70s. A-Lab. Let's see. And resistance here. If we get above that 200 area, we have 287 upside. If we bounce off of it, watch it out below. Let's see. Take 2 interactive. Got punched in the face. Yikes. Shopify. That's potentially the bottom here. We can break out and go higher again. Potential. Like, be careful though. Like, I would not go too heavy on that one at the moment. Still, I guess the tariff threat, whatever. There's, Shopify store is not a high barrier to entry, but You need the customers. You got to be able to sell stuff, otherwise you fold it. And then, Shopify doesn't have direct exposure to that, but they need the customers to buy from the stores and the stores to keep going so they can stay in business. And I know one Shopify store I shopped at, they went bust, and it wasn't because of it was just unfortunate circumstances. And a contract kitchen that prepared their stuff, and contract kitchen just canceled their contract with like 2 days notice, and they didn't have a backup plan. So it can be tough. And let's see, SBIT. And this can be played out. So this is indicating that we might see Bitcoin. This is short, ultra short Bitcoin, leverage short Bitcoin. So this looks like it's going to come back to the roadmap line, which would indicate that Bitcoin is either going to chop sideways or climb a little bit higher. DGX. Oh, right to the target. Played out. Let's see. Palantir, potentially done on the downside. Let's see. Hood has earnings today. I got a play on that one. Continuing the climb. I expect, based on that chart, I kind of expect it to pop up in the $100 area. Maybe 115 on earnings, but it could make a lower low. That would be my expectation as a pop. I came in here and sold some puts. If it dips and I get put shares, great. If it just rips, no big deal. And Jack and I kind of talked about that a few times. VRT still 212 upside targets. Let's see. Amphenol. Ooh, if we can get through that 150 area. For 173 on the upside. Hasbro. Man. Toys must be doing better than they were doing. PANW. Can we find a bottom, please? I'd like to see that one pop back up. Went a little lower than I wanted or expected. If we can keep from doing a lower low here, that has upside potential. Still has the upside potential. All right, things that are declining. Sometimes we can find opportunities here. Not on that one. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Let's see. Can we find some opportunity? Momentum. Be careful on that one. The grind higher until it doesn't. Korea. Is it EWY? Yeah. That looks like a consolidation before we pop on higher, which KORU is probably going to go higher. MU needs a large pullback. Be careful here. That looks played out for now. Be careful. Salesforce still. Oh, I was going to say still has lower to go. Nope. Tagging the target. So Salesforce may be done on the downside. Nice. MSTR. That may be down on the downside. Upside potential, especially if Bitcoin can hold and or even climb just a little bit. Seeing NDAQ, NASDAQ Incorporated. Well, with all the new things they're coming out with, this should hold the breakouts and go higher once again. Upwork and Fiverr. Nasty price action. That was corrective. Trend is down. That's a downtrend. Corrective. Continuation would be down. PLT. And platinum, palladium, probably pulling back a little bit, just like gold and silver. Once we get support, probably going higher again. Coinbase, holding on to that prior low. Would look best if we dip on down to 90. I think it's funny how everybody talks about narratives. You know, I'm here at this in-person event. Everybody wants to talk about narratives and stories. It's just the price action. Like, it really is. Like, I have a hard time, why would Coinbase keep being pummeled here? And it was funny too, because they were one of the conversations I was in yesterday afternoon. We're talking about how Hood is following Bitcoin, and I don't think it's following Bitcoin. I think it played out, and this is the correction. This is the price pattern, and we're about to bounce and break out. Is the way I look at this chart. We did the same pullback that we've done 3 times. Now we need to do the same expansion that we've done twice. FISV. FISV. Alright, I see no bottom in sight there. First solar. Coming down, but that can keep on coming down. Let's clean this up a little bit. Look at that. It's been sideways for almost 3 years. If we retrace the support, that's down around 160. HubSpots. Whew, that looks so bad. Looks so bad. Yeah. Be careful chasing fallen knives or trying to pick bottoms. Adobe coming on down. I kind of expect this to bottom around 200. So maybe 60 more bucks on the downside. Coca-Cola. That looks like Coke doesn't usually go on runs like that, so be careful. Probably pull back a little bit. ALB. And we're looking for this to. This may need a little rest. It may need to touch the roadmap line and resume the uptrend. You'd be looking at 500 to 1,000 would be the target area up there. A lithium producer. EXPE. Beautiful retrace. This is one of the best charts I've looked at today. If this can turn back higher, get back above that 270 area, we'll be looking for 316 on the upside. And QCon. Just kind of looking for opportunity. Things that I think would be interesting. Sideways still. Nothing. Hog. Harley Davidson. That's about to break down. Ooh, rough. I don't think of Harley Davidson as like a premium brand, but maybe it is. But it just seems like it's having trouble. So on semi, be careful here. This is the big 618 resistance. If we turn down here, easily make a bigger lower low around 20. If we can break through this resistance, it has a lot of chop we did in here too. So we're gonna have to break through that orange zone right there. If we can get through that, we're looking for like 135 on the upside. All right, so setups, things that are set up with the price pattern, potential entry today. Let's go through a few of these. Turn on some statistics. Apollo. Yeah, and funny enough, like that one already played out, so it got the entry and the target all in one. Hole in one. BANR. So we got cooking here. I really don't care for the sideways price action. You can see it stopped out last time. Go with that high, this low, entry, 69 targets. Yeah. 2762, 1.3 or 1.13. BST. Yeah, that can't be the right BST. Yeah, let's see, BST. Yeah, we're talking about this one. Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was. Let's see. Let's go with that high, go with that low. Entry 42 targets, 8 trades, 87, 8 profit factor. I mean, it looks nice. It's kind of been in this longer consolidation since October. If science and technology is actually going to get ripping again, then it looks like a pretty fair setup. This one's already been in it since back over here, but we did a secondary bounce with a higher low. High, low, entry, 2370 targets. BW, MN, Bravo Whiskey Mike November. There's the entry, 38.27 targets. Stop is always dollar below the low. Calyx. Here's the high, here's the low. Entry, 64 targets. And I don't like that price action. Now this, probably the best looking one so far that I pull up. Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Here's the high, here's the low. Entry there, target 220. Stop dollar below the low. Flex. Let's flex it. High, low, entry 75.50. Ice. I wouldn't touch this. I don't like that. Don't like that pattern at all. Don't like that pattern at all. And that, I wonder if that's even the right one. That's IFBD. It has to be. Yeah, it's not sure what the algorithm picked up there. And maybe the difference in how the EMAs are calculated. So choppy. Choppy's worked out, but 31.98. No statistics. LLYVA. It's a lot of letters. For a ticker. Yeah, it's almost to the target. Almost to the target. Match. I would not touch that. In mark. Let's see what we got. Low. 18 targets. Low price stuff, be careful. Lower price doesn't always work. Yeah, 1865. Not great statistics. This one been a little choppy. Yeah, sideways. And even though there's list, like there were a bunch of these kicking off, like just don't look very trend pullback continuation. That's the whole system here. Is I'm looking for a trend, a pullback, and continuation. A lot of these tickers just don't look like they're doing that. Now this one keeps showing up because it keeps bouncing on the roadmap line. Just not like that's a 2x leverage on Nvidia. Just not going. Here's another 2x leverage on Nvidia. Just not going. Another 2x leverage on Nvidia. Just not going. NYT. Yeah, I drawn this one the other day. I'm not sure why it popped up again, but that 76.50 target. PSTG. That's funny. That's a. I'm pretty sure PSTG is one of the formats for point cloud files when you're doing laser scanning. Potential bottom in place. Bigger bounce is what I would be looking for, but it my system picked up on this small little guy and potential for 79, but I probably wouldn't touch that right now because it's just so choppy. That's kind of the name of the game here. And so choppy sideways, that's already been in it. Did another bounce. Low price stuff. All right, let's go look at SPY and QQQ and try to find some opportunity today. Wrap this baby up, maybe get into the trading day. I'll have to go back downstairs. So S&P 500 SPY. I use bullflow.io and try to come up with the gamma range that I expect to stay in. Had the range right. The pinning just didn't work yesterday. Had that drift higher and just kind of kept making higher highs. So today, pulling this over. Let's see what our range is today. Pop on some bullflow. Let's see. Let's make. Yeah, they just updated. These numbers aren't ticking very much though. Always makes me nervous. Let's just kind of reload. Got it. Do cookies. Why did it reload to Apple? What the fudge? What the fudge muffins? Showing delayed data. What the heck is... What the heck? That logged me out, I guess. Cool. That's so much fun. What the heck? What the fork? I guess 701 and 690. Probably that's a narrowing range. It's probably a side effect of the hotel Wi-Fi or something. And let's see if the levels, if it'll give me the levels. Maybe not, maybe. Looks like 695 maybe. And that's kind of where we're hanging. So that's where the big gamma is right now, but it's tightening range. It gives me a little concern on the day. QQQ. So it looks like we're going to grind higher again today, at least initially. And the Qs, let's pull this over today. Pick the range. All right, levels for Qs. Ew, much sloppier. Like 615, which that's where we're hanging out. It's kind of like similar to SPY. That's where the big levels are. I put that a little high. Put it right there. And as far as the gamma bubble goes, yeah, if we can even pull this up. 610 and 622. Still a pretty fat one, but tightening up. We've got upside of 622 and 610 on the low side. So bringing the bottom up, and we're kind of in the lower half right now. So more upside potential. That's kind of what we got for today, everybody. Looks like a grind higher until we break down. Stay safe out there. I'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out. I'll try to do 30 minutes of awesome. Hopefully it'll work. And otherwise, be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Do it all again. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye for now.